to make sourdough blueberry muffins. So this is actually an overnight sourdough recipe for the muffins. And so last night in this bowl, I combined 2 cups of flour, a cup of sourdough starter, and about 3/4 cup of milk. Now, depending on how wet your sourdough starter is, you may only need to use half a cup, but I ended up using almost 3/4 of a cup. So I'll show you what that mixture looks like this morning. So it's actually like a very sticky dough, and this is what it should look like after it's set on the counter and fermented overnight. So the first thing I'm going to do this morning is add 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder to the overnight fermented dough. Then I'm also going to add a teaspoon of baking soda. I just mix these ingredients into the dough, and I'm going to set it aside and then start working on the rest of the ingredients. So in the next bowl, I'm going to add 2 eggs that I've whisked together, half a cup of butter, 1 teaspoon of salt, and then half a cup of honey. Add a teaspoon of cinnamon, then just mix these ingredients together really well until they're well combined. So once you have the honey and eggs and butter and everything whisked together, you're going to want to add in the dough to that mixture and just mix it until it's combined. So when you combine the sourdough into the liquid mixture, it can take just a little bit to get that really well combined, and it may look a little bit funny if you're not used to working with sourdough or what that dough looks like, but that's what it should look like after you get them mixed together. And then the last step is just to gently mix in the blueberries. That's what the dough should look like, and now they're ready to go into the muffin tins. So to line the muffin tin, I actually like to make my own muffin liners, and how I do that is just by using parchment paper, and I cut them into squares, probably anywhere from 4 inches by 4 inches to 6 inches by 6 inches. I'm sure it varies every time because I'm just not that precise, but it always works. So once I have them cut into strips like this, them again to make squares. And there's generally always a little bit of excess, and that's okay. And then I just take one of the squares and stick it down inside the muffin tin. And then I just continue doing that for all 12 of the muffin tin holes. The last step is just to fill all of the parchment paper liners with the dough. And now they're ready to go into the oven at 375 degrees for about 25 to 30 minutes. Okay. All right, so these are fresh out of the oven, and I'm just gonna remove them from the muffin tin and put them on a cooling rack to cool for a little while. So these sourdough blueberry muffins turned out beautifully. There are a couple of variations. If you don't want yours filled with quite as many berries, you definitely don't have to use as many as what the recipe calls for. And also, if you have a really sweet tooth and feel like these aren't quite sweet enough, you can bump up the amount of honey that you use in this recipe, and they'll still turn out just as good. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. I hope that you enjoy this recipe, and if you try it, let me know. Also, don't forget to visit the blog where you can see a lot more of what happens here at Rocky Hedge Farm, from homemade recipes to DIY remodeling, gardening, and so much more. Have a great day, guys.